Before we get started, please go over to Amazon.com and grab a copy of my book, Education and Justice. If you have an African-American son in public school, you need this book because I teach you the many ways that public schools mistreat African-American boys and what you can do to help your son. So go over there and get your copy immediately. I have been telling you for the last number of months that Trump was going after civil rights laws. Well, we're just a couple of weeks away from when he is sworn in, when he's inaugurated and will take office, and that will begin. All right? So we created the Civil Rights Academy so that we can teach you why civil rights laws are so very, very important. And we wrote an ebook so that you will have something that you can put on your shelf so that you can refer to, so that you can understand how important these laws are and why we must fight to keep them. All right? Because there's a lot of disinformation going on out there to make you think that the civil rights laws are useless, meaningless, irrelevant, outdated, and so forth. And a lot of that stuff is coming from content creators, some of them I call pro-black imposters, others black conservatives, white conservatives. They are also constantly attacking civil rights laws. So actually civil rights laws are getting pummeled from both sides, as I've said in the past. All right. Now, in order for you to understand how important these laws are, we got to educate you. All right. And again, that's why we created the Civil Rights Academy and wrote the ebook. So what I'm going to do in this video is, as I've promised, I'm going to read you some excerpts from the ebook, and we're going to focus on the continual relevance of the civil rights laws. All right, let's go. The relevance of the act. Speaking of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, it says, disinformation has led to several dangerous misconceptions about the Civil Rights Act of 1964 among some African Americans, particularly younger generations. These misconceptions cause many to take the act for granted and fail to recognize its importance. Younger black individuals often lack an understanding of how life was for African Americans before the act, a failure compounded by poor public school education and disinterest among black millennials in learning this history. As a result, some younger black voices express misguided and uninformed views about the act, sentiments that white conservatives are eager to exploit. All right. So again, that's an excerpt from the ebook. And basically what it's saying is disinformation has caused so many younger blacks to disregard, dismiss, diminish these civil rights laws, although we as a people, we need and use these laws every single day. When we go out into the world, to our jobs, to school, etc., it is those civil rights laws that are protecting us, that we're taking advantage of. And the problem is a lot of times we don't even know it. We don't even know it. So that's why this Civil Rights Academy is so very, very important. Now, as I just read, I know that a lot of us don't really understand and appreciate the Civil Rights Act, the civil rights laws generally, because of the comments they have made on our channel and a lot of the comments I hear on YouTube. All right, let's go and read some of those comments that we've gotten on this channel. For example, one YouTube commenter wrote, "Let them take it." In other words, let white conservatives abolish the act. All right, I can't go without commenting on that. The utter foolishness of that statement. Let them take it. This is a person who does not understand how the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, the Fair Housing Act, they're using all of that while that person was writing that. These rights were protecting them. When that person leaves their home to go anywhere, It is those civil rights laws that is protecting that black person in ways that we don't even understand. But I guarantee you, our parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, they understood because their lives were miserable. Our lives are a lot better because of civil rights laws. And here this person says, let them take it. Here's someone else. Quote, I also believe that this is the best thing. He's talking about abolishing the act for the blacks. Force you into a corner to where you have to take care of yourself. Do for self. Do not rely on the political system in this country. They do not want you in their corporate boardrooms. Build your own. Now that sounds so wise and smart and strong and so on. And of course, all of us agree with building our own. We know they don't want us in their corporate boardrooms. We know that. But that's their problem and their business. So long as we're in this country and have laid the economic foundation for this country so that they could have those boardrooms, we have a right. We have a right under those civil rights laws, which are based on the U.S. Constitution, to be able to fairly compete for the same wealth and prosperity they have. So we're not going to let them take anything. We're going to fight them. And we're going to get our fair share of access to the wealth of this nation so we can build our own. It's hard to build anything when you can't get capital. We built things before integration, before there were civil rights laws, but we can build even greater things with the access these civil rights laws have afforded us. We're not giving them anything. We're not giving up anything. We're going to fight for what rightly belongs to us. We laid the economic foundation for this country. We're not giving up anything without a fight, as Frederick Douglass said. Power sees nothing without a struggle. And we're going to continue to fight for what's ours, which includes reparations, by the way. Okay? But the comments continue. Here's another one. Another one wrote, I hope whatever we fight for in this place will actually mention us as a people and be specific to us. Asians didn't receive a civil rights bill. They got an Asian anti-hate crime bill. Well, there are all sorts of foolish statements in this comment. This person says, I hope whatever we fight for in this place will actually mention us as a people and be specific to us. That is utter foolishness. For black people to think, and this is disinformation that they've received from various sources who have downplayed civil rights laws, okay, and have caused many black people to think that the civil rights laws are not as potent, powerful, and important because they don't say race or black Americans specifically. You have been told that because they want you to think that the Civil Rights Act, the Voting Rights Act, the Fair Housing Act is not worth fighting for so that they can take it from us. You have been disinformed, and by your very statement, you have been deceived. Just because the Civil Rights Act of 64 protect other people doesn't make it less potent for us. I mean, that sounds kind of whiny. Well, my name ain't in it, or you don't say black. And then this person goes on to say, Asians didn't receive a civil rights bill. And you know why? Because they're protected under the Civil Rights Act of 64. Then this individual says they got an Asian hate crime bill. False. There is no Asian hate crime bill. How do I know this? For one simple reason. I'm a civil rights attorney. I understand the law. I know how to read statutes. I know how to read the case law that interprets the statutes. Unlike the pro-black imposters many of you care to listen to. We got to be the only community in this country who get our legal information from non-lawyers. We rather listen to a rapper. We rather listen to someone who has maybe not even finished high school, never been to college, or went to college and didn't study the law. The law, that's a 3-year endeavor after you finish your undergrad degree. 3 hard years of study, rigorous study of the law, of cases, of constitutional law, civil rights law, criminal procedure, criminal law, all kinds of law. Learning how to be a lawyer, and then studying for the bar exam, and then practicing law. And yet people without that sort of training and education and knowledge are out here completely misleading people. Again, I don't think Asians do that. I don't think Arabs do that. I don't think whites do that. I don't think any other community looks to non-professionals for expert advice. Black people listen to rappers, athletes, comedians, all kinds of people about very technical legal stuff. You wouldn't do that, I hope, in the medical field. You wouldn't go to a non-doctor to get medical treatment. You wouldn't hopefully go online and read some article or watch some video about a very technical part of medicine from someone who doesn't have the requisite training. But you do that with this, and that's why you're sitting here thinking that there is an Asian hate crime bill. There is a bill that has the word Asian in it, but it's not an enforceable hate crime bill. Oh boy, the disinformation. And because you're not more scrutinizing of the information you take in, you're very, very easily misled. Very easily misled. And that has cost the African American 2 Trump elections, where he did great damage before, and he's going to do even more this second time. Let's read a little bit more here. Other misconceptions claim that the act is outdated, irrelevant, or that it primarily benefits white women. I won't spend much time addressing these inaccuracies here, as the next chapter will explain how the act functions and how 60 years later it continues to powerfully and primarily benefit African Americans. Suffice it to say that without the act, the Jim Crow system would likely still exist. There would be far fewer black individuals in the middle class, and the number of wealthy African Americans would be even smaller. Everyday life for African Americans would drastically differ in areas like employment, voting, traveling, dining, and more. So, the stuff about civil rights laws being irrelevant, benefiting white people, white women more than blacks, is completely false. You say that because you've been disinformed. You've been misled because of the people you choose to listen to for your expert advice. Okay? And as a result of that, they're playing you, they're misleading you, and it is playing right into the hands of white supremacists. I mean, they love it. They take advantage of it. They exploit the black community, many in the black community, because many blacks just simply take this kind of advice from folks who know nothing about what they're talking about. And white supremacists just love it. They exploit it. They use it. They know you can tell black people anything. If you send the right black person to them, that black person can tell other blacks anything, and those blacks will believe it because they're not critically thinking and they're not critically scrutinizing who they receive their information from, unfortunately. A lot of it comes right here off YouTube instead of reading books, etc. The Civil Rights Act and civil rights laws in general are still very important. If they weren't, Trump and MAGA would not be trying to destroy them. I assure you. So every Monday, every Thursday, we will continue to put up portions of this ebook so that you will get a proper understanding of civil rights laws and so that you can join the fight to preserve our civil rights protections. Okay? I am Reverend and Civil Rights Attorney Augustus Corbett. Thank you for watching this video. And until the next time, peace.